Cocoa is the heart of the Ivorian economy. It is by far the sector of the economy that employs the most amount of people and that generates the most amount of revenues.
In January 2023, the African Local Currency Bond Fund, an initiative of KfW with funding from the German government, invested in a bond issued by SOLEA, an Ivorian cocoa producer.
When we started, we wanted a production model, build an ideal plantation model that answers the existing ills of the sector: deforestation, child labor, lack of gender parity.
Our fundamental objective is to ensure that SMEs gain access to local institutional capital that can be used for growth and expansion to drive broad-based economic growth on the continent.
When we look at the cocoa production model in Ivory Coast, which is the world's largest cocoa producer, it's still smallholder farming. And the aim was to do a more nuclear model with larger land holdings, with proper land management, so that the plantations are based on land that has land title deeds, giving villages sufficient rights, bringing modernity to the entire agro approach. We wanted to lease land because in that way, the true owner in the eyes of the law was still the villagers. We have a minimum wage for the agro sector. What we do is we pay 30% above that wage. What we're telling people is that we want better trained, better qualified people, better paid, and we are proud that we've been able to eliminate child labor from the very first day. We concentrate on reforestation. On an average, we plant about 70 to 100,000 trees a year, and these are all done in-house. With our massive biodiversity program, we feel that we have a positive carbon footprint. We plant more and we use less energy. Thanks to the way the plantation is designed, we can identify to the very T as to where that cocoa bean came from, which year, which lot, who worked on it, how much they were paid, what kind of fertilizers and what kind of insecticides and pesticides were used on that surface.
As an investor, it's really important for us to see the transparency of the supply chain so we know that the beans were sustainably farmed.
Welcome to our cocoa beans transformation unit. We've been producing cocoa mass for a year now.
The money we raised from the bond issuance is helping us expand Shoko, our cocoa bean transformation business.
So this is the final product, which is 100% ground cocoa beans. And this is what we ship to our clients all over the world. 100% Ivorian cocoa mass, produced and transformed in Cote d'Ivoire. When you look at the cocoa supply chain, if you are producing beans in a country, just merely exporting your raw material, you're missing out on the additional revenues that you can capture as you climb the value chain. For example, farm gate prices for cocoa beans are around €1, €10, but when you make cocoa mass, that same price could go up to €4 a kilo. So you're quadrupling your revenues. Now, if you can capture that revenue in country, then you're adding to the revenues in the country, you're creating employment, you're adding to the industrialization of the sector within that country. And that is very, very important for the future of this industry.
This is a brand new factory that's been built using the proceeds of the bonds.
The ALCB fund is helping us accelerate our transition from an agribusiness to an agro-industrial model.
We've also invested in new equipment. We are doubling our production lines. The ALCB fund provided us technical assistance and access to local currency. When you are a small or medium-sized business, having an anchor investor who went through the entire due diligence process with you, the credit due diligence, the ENS due diligence, and said, that's it, green signal, you can go ahead, was massive for us because then it allowed the other institutional investors locally, on the back of that assurance, come in and invest.
We're really excited in 2024 that we would enter this new phase whereby we would be building our tree-to-bar products in this installation.
SMEs are really the engine of growth in Africa. The return that the ALCB hopes to achieve is commercial returns, as any other investor would, and also social returns. In the case of SOLEA, ensuring transitive value addition for an economy